Hello guys. So today I want to yeah, that's weird. That's my first video. I just want to talk a bit about Vivid and I think that video format would be the easiest one. Uh, I'm bullish because I have done my research and I want you to see and decide for yourself and maybe do even more research. So the artist for the Vivid is Eki Bright. You see, it's Japanese-based artist who does manga, does a lot of collaborations, does actual art exhibitions, and very talented artist. You see the followers here, followers, 100,000 followers on Instagram. Then, oops, then let's see. Have worked with BMW Esports and made a series of manga, like 8 episodes, I think, for esport industry where they feature best teams and best players and basically build stories around them. So that's one of the mangas Aki is he has done. There is another one, Borderline, that's an exhibition, and then manga here, the Shinkinkei Shoju. Sorry if I am pronouncing it wrong, but here we go. I'm not sure how good is it selling, but you can see the skill in terms of the cities, buildings, and mechanical parts. Well, yeah, I can show you some of the arts. He has been drawing art in the style of Vivid Universe forever. He has also done covers for Harley Quinn DC and Joker DC, and then if you want to look at the style, it's always mechanical parts, views of person with mechanical parts, it's tattoos, it's horns, some kind of mutations, it's bones. You will see a lot of bones and swords, and actually in terms of merch, maybe I'm not gonna be able to find it now, but very nice fashion things that have been drawn to. Well, the art is just dope. It's amazing. And then we're gonna start listening about the team a little bit. I will start with Yasu. Yasu is in a partnership. Anyways, let's listen.
Cool. So Yasu represents Amuse. For those who don't know, Amuse is a giant publicly traded Japanese company. They've got hundreds of millions in revenue every year. They're one of the largest talent agencies in Japan. They represent everything from actors, musicians, bands like Baby Metal. They're also a giant production company. They've got a show on Netflix that I didn't even realize they had out called Midnight Diner, which is based on a manga. They also produced the Rurouni Kenshin live action movie series, which I think is up to 5 right now, also based on a manga. You may be noticing a pattern. You may want to take notes. They were also producers on some anime movies like Mary and the Witch's Flower, Your Name, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. But I'm bringing all this up because Amuse are the ones who introduced me and the rest of the team to Aki. They are our partners in Vivid. I've worked with them for years. They're handling all of our business in Japan. I've known Yasu for ages. We have a slate of projects together that include anime, manga, and all sorts of things. And, Amuse trusts me. They trust us as the team. And we are super excited to have their support and infrastructure as part of the Vivid team.
Well, thank you, Nell. The great intro about Amuse. And I think, I didn't talk much last time at the AMA. So quickly, my background is, I was born and raised in Japan and came to United States.
Well, Yasu we have seen he's a VP of Amuse Group USA, have done crazy productions. Well, it's very bullish and they have very tight relationship for years. They have been working together, Nell and Yasu. Very bullish. Then let's
tell people what you're all about.
Let's hear about.
What's up, guys? I'm Nell. You've probably seen me in the Lore channel. My background is originally coming up through digital. I ran really big YouTube channels. I built and sold a digital content company. And then I kind of transitioned into more traditional film and TV. I managed a $100 million slate of film and TV for a big media company. And I was TV, film, animation, kind of everything. My slate won the company an Oscar, a few Emmys, a couple dozen other awards. My shows have been picked up places like Comedy Central, Amazon, South by Southwest. The list goes on. Then I abandoned corporate life. I opened an animation studio. I've got a live action production company that's produced about a dozen movies in the last couple of years. And now I am here at Vivid, and I have big plans for the narrative, the universe, and what content can mean for us.
Excellent.
Well, very coherent, speaks with integrity. Crazy lore master you will hear, like his ideas about the universe, and I have been chilling with the founders in VC a lot. The knowledge about anime, about history of anime and manga is just on another level. Understanding of traditional manga, it's
Dope. What's good, everyone? I'm Zap. I'm new to the NFT space, to be honest with you, but where my background is I've spent the last 8 years in the fashion industry as a product developer. Got my bachelor's in product development. I've worked for big brands like Chinatown Market, Pleasures, Rip and Dip, Brain Dead, Huff, Billabong. Like if it's a brand in a retail store, I've definitely worked with them. I've done licensed collaboration projects with Marilyn Manson, Care Bears, Britney Spears, Hello Kitty, The Craft, which is like a 90s witch movie, Trolls, list goes on. I started a brand under Dolls Kill, which was called Horoscopes, where I produced a collection every month around the horoscope for like 50, 60 products a month every year. So it was like, 600 plus products a year from outerwear, tops, bottoms, shoes, accessories, handbags, the lot. I opened a retail store in Fairfax, which is there to this day, 2 doors down from Supreme for Dolls Kill, and then opened a second location for them in the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco. So I've also done apparel, real life pop-up events for Coachella. So that's where my background is coming at, and yeah, I'm excited.
Well, fashion industry expertise from Zap is very needed because they're building 360 IP brand. Just want to emphasize again, the Amuse Group is IP Accelerator. That's Amuse Group USA is a daughter company of the Amuse Group Japan. Japan is publicly trading probably one of the best IP accelerators in the space. I mean, anyways, at least good IP accelerator. I don't know much about them. And then WhaaaWhaaa, very smart guy. If you sit in VC and listen, you'll understand it's not prepared speech that he's talking well or anything. Very smart guy at all times. Founder of, you're gonna hear it, sorry.
Started a couple companies, had some adventures over the past year. You guys have probably seen me from Creeps. If you go on that server, I am one of the head mods. But it's more than that. I do the admin, so I keep the server completely safe. And so far up to this point, no compromises. But not only working with Cold-Blooded Creeps, I've worked with many other projects. Some of them lesser known as Cringe Crows, Creepy Girls, IMX Punks at one point. Audited a handful of servers, helped out with marketing plans for a couple like Awful Otters, Soul Kongs at one point, and that's kind of my background. I've observed a lot of the space. I've taken a lot of information, and we all got to here because we'll save the best for last, which is because of our guy Tracksuit.
Well, the WhaaaWhaaa, I have been also hearing how he has been a part of multiple DAOs that basically involved in crypto funds, staking and such, and he understands the space in and out, and honestly he has very big ambitious plans, and he's a visionary. I believe in him, and I'm ready to see how he executes, he and the team. And here we come to the lore, very beautiful part. Lore is written by Nell, mostly community helps with ideas. We are throwing ideas in the chat. Nell just takes and decipher it and blend it all together. I mean, he has his own vision, obviously, but I am glad that he's taken some help from the community.
For the Vivid universe, where everything is taking place. And, we start in present day. Global warming has continued. It gets worse and worse and worse. The wildfires, the earthquakes, the hurricanes, and volcanoes and tsunamis, all the extremes just kept getting more and more extreme. And environmental catastrophes threatened to wipe out all life on Earth. So a human art ship left Earth with its best and brightest to find a new homeworld. That is a setup that everybody has heard. It's been done many, many times. That was 700 years ago in the Vivid universe. Our series is about what happened to all the humans left behind on Earth. So as climate change made the surface of the Earth uninhabitable, humanity had to look inward. What followed then was hundreds of years of expansion and colonization into the deep oceans and into the hollow center core of the Earth itself. And that kind of serves as the initial setting for our series. And that was really important to me. I'm a huge fan of cyberpunk. I read cyberpunk novels and comics and anime and movies. Anything cyberpunk, I want it. And I feel like, in all the stories I've read, there's so many of humanity looking outward. And I really wanted us to do something different and explore a different location and setting in our universe, which is why I had humanity, the ones left behind, the ones who didn't leave the Earth, and they're forced to kind of look inward and take refuge underground and into the ocean. So, that's our main kind of initial setting for the series. It's called The Hive. It's a kind of sprawling series of modular hive cities that are built into the hollow core of the Earth itself. And these underground kind of modular city segments, they use these high-tech, archaic now, because this is hundreds of years in the future, gravitational engines that were developed when mankind was still on the surface. And this allows humanity to kind of exist at the Earth's core, and it gives each of these city modules all different gravitational orientations. So you can be on a street looking upward or sideways at another part of the city, and via either high-powered elevators or powerful mech boots, people can kind of traverse the different orientations of the city. So picture like that scene from Inception meets Super Mario Galaxy. So a giant city with different segments, all with distinct aesthetics and gravity, all in kind of an underground area so big that it doesn't ever feel like we're underground. And because this is kind of like the last bastion of humanity, we have, old world governments still grasping for control. We have mega corporations like Vivid grasping for control. We've got criminal syndicates and monarchies and there's, a group of dino cult zealots who fuse mechanical parts with bones that they excavate and worship. And I'm sure you've seen some of that in some of the artwork that's leaked out. So all of this kind of creates this sort of frantic, chaotic, splintered last bastion for humanity. And that's kind of where our story begins. That's the main one we'll explore. It's the one I'm most excited about, but it's certainly not the only thing that we're going to be talking about, the only place that we'll be. We'll, over time, in various iterations of our universe, we'll explore the deep oceans and those pods that people live in, which are much higher tech, smaller, higher end, elite. And eventually we'll also make it back to the Earth's surface to, explore if anybody is still up there and what it looks like for those who chose to stay behind and try to eke out an existence up there. That's kind of the setting and setup of the Vivid.
All right. That's a good one. I like it. And now let's hear out about the main character, Miko.
Is a young woman named Miko, and she's what's known as a grav runner, which is a high-end courier who uses kind of state-of-the-art gravity boots to traverse the city's modules and gravities to deliver high-end packages for elite clients, no questions asked. And her life is thrown into turmoil when a delivery goes wrong, exposing her to experimental nanotech, which is absorbed into her bloodstream. It kind of gives her, it almost kills her, but ends up giving her these kind of powers that she struggles to control that are eating away at her as she tries to survive, get them out of her, and continue on with her life. And, over time, again, I don't want to give too much away, but as soon as this happens, all the kind of targets across the city all focus in on her. Vivid, the corporations are after her. The religious cults are after her. The gangs are after her. Everybody in the city knows that what she has absorbed in her body is the most valuable thing out there, and everyone is after it for their own reasons. And so Miko and her friends, she has a kind of hood rat squad that are, the only other people in the hive that she trusts. She's on a race to kind of see if she can get the nanotech out of her bloodstream, get away, survive, while everyone in the city is kind of focusing in on her and trying to kill her and get what's inside of her. So that's kind of the setup for our story. I think that'll be enough as far as the plot goes. But yeah, characters-wise, we have Miko. We have her hood rat squad. These are small-time grifters just trying to make ends meet. This is a cyberpunk setting, so we have, high-end tech, lo-fi poverty kind of intermixed together, and her friends are kind of set in the middle of that. One of the other characters that you'll be seeing a lot, we have Johnny, who's an amoral corporate fixer. He hates his job, but he, can't walk away from the money. He has no problems getting his hands dirty. And this is a character that is unpredictable. He'll sometimes be an ally, sometimes an enemy to Miko, because he realizes that what she's carrying inside her is valuable. But what I really liked with this character was to have someone that is sometimes on Miko's side, but can never really be trusted because he always has his own agenda. And then we have the Dino Corps, which is kind of the eminent criminal syndicate in the Hive's underbelly. They're a pseudo-religious gang obsessed with mining ancient fossils and using experimental tech to try to harness the DNA at the cost of their sanity often. So those are some of the characters, some of the settings, some of the setup for the story. Ultimately this is a cyberpunk universe, so we're going to be dealing with mechanical parts, cyborg battles, humans losing their humanity, human greed, human problems, thriller, action, conspiracies, but all, rooted with emotionally driven characters. At the end of the day, NFTs aside, cool cyberpunk stuff aside, I care about telling stories and characters. And so everything that happens in this Vivid universe, all the aesthetics, all of it needs to be driven by characters that we care about and we want to go on the ride of their journey with them. So that's really important to me. So yeah, that's I think that.
All right. I hope you enjoyed this lore as much as I did. Currently, as I'm recording this video, Vivid is holding the must chosen giveaway. Chosen is a whitelist basically. You probably, if you go to the Discord, which is open for now, and I think it's gonna be open. If you go to the Discord, you will see there must choose an event submission or something, and there will be a Google Doc in which you can submit your lore story. After hearing everything that Nell said, you don't need to be a writer, you can just write a possible scene or possible scenario of betrayal or of love or of anything like that. They're gonna give out about 200 whitelists for this event. I don't think that many people gonna be submitting, and that's your chance to get chosen and mint this project that I'm bullish about. I think I'm gonna finish at that. That was not a bad recap, my first ever video. Thanks everyone for watching, and maybe see you another time.